Alright, welcome everyone to the second 17 event of the season. Tonight we have poet Cate Marvin, who has traveled from Connecticut, missed her train, drove to Boston, and got on a plane to Houston to New Orleans. She traveled a long way. We should thank her for that. She currently serves as the poet in residence at the Merrill House, which means she lives in James Merrill's apartment. And she currently teaches at the City University of New York on Staten Island, as well as the low residency MFA program at Lesley University. Cate received her bachelor's degree in writing and literature at Marlborough College. She received her MFA in poetry at the University of Houston. She received her MFA in fiction at the Iowa Writers Workshop and her PhD in English at the University of Cincinnati. Cate has published 2 poetry collections, including Fragment of the Head of a Queen, which is for sale in the hallway. And she has co-edited an anthology of poetry, Legitimate Dangers. Her poems have been published in literary magazines such as Poetry and Paris Review. And next year, Cate will be on sabbatical for her 3rd in the spring, in January. And she's going to teach at Columbia University. So, without further ado, please welcome Cate Marvin.
I need to get the rest of my books. There's a lot of people here. This is very freaky. There's a lot of people I want to thank. I was so excited to get the invitation to come to New Orleans. I hadn't been here since way pre-Katrina, and you know, I didn't know when I would get back here. So I really want to thank you for inviting me. It's like awesome. And there's a number of people I want to thank who made this happen. Obviously, Leslie Lucas, who was such a joy to correspond with, her friend Christine. And I spent the day with 2 very wonderful people, Ian and Courtney. And we trudged up and down Magazine Street in the heat. And they endured me looking for presents to bring back to my friends. Mainly to my mother, because she's taking care of my 9-month-old baby. For days on end, she's been doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a bunch of poems from my last book, Fragment of the Head of a Queen, which came out in 2007. And I'm going to read some newer poems. And I might do some sort of sandwiching of poems, right? We'll see how it goes. One of my aims is I would like to this evening read work that I don't normally read. And so the theme of this book is, a big part of it is divorce, but my goal was to write a book about divorce that wasn't like overtly about divorce, you know what I mean? And I'm going to start with a poem called Gaslight. Any of you seen the movie Gaslight ever? Well, it's a great movie. You really should try and see it. I actually saw the movie after I wrote this poem, but a friend of mine said this poem should be called Gaslight because that's what's happening in it. In the movie, a very happy husband and wife, they're married. He basically starts to mess with her and convince her that she's crazy by doing a number of things, like the heat goes on and off, the lights go on and off, and he just tells her, oh, you're just imagining it. But meanwhile, he's like upstairs fiddling with things, right? And so you might sometimes hear the phrase gaslighting, like when someone's gaslit. It's that, someone's trying to make someone else think they're crazy, right? A nice relationship strategy. And this poem is about, the people in it are both writers, and it's really about office supplies, which are close to all of our hearts, I'm sure. Gaslight. He asked to split a ream of paper, so I foolishly handed him the whole sheaf, reminding him I'd be wanting its other half back. Now I'm typing on the ink-soaked ends of old papers, squinting my eyes so as not to see through their skins, read backwards yesterday's or last month's intentions. The same happened with my envelopes, and let's not forget the paper clips. And I used to have a full box of pens. Now they turn up beneath the sofa, ends bitten as if the dogs were nervous, or he, frown a crumpled napkin across his brow, chomped an afternoon away. I'm surprised to find my hands still attached to the ends of my arms, which I keep fastened to my sides as I pretend to sleep, tongue locked behind my teeth, words hoarded into that little corral that sits in the furthest corner of my mind. Sometimes I think he's got into the wine, spilled a little down the sink to make me think I'm drinking more than I used to. When I knock at his door to ask back for my calculator, his look knocks me down, his door slams me out. When my tailbone hits the floor and I cry out, he applauds me for being such a fine actress. Let us see how he takes my absence. I am packing up my desk, and I'll let him keep the scissors. He'll find them in his back.